This Mark Zuckerberg spy automation is like a CIA background check for your leads. I'm going to show you how you can use n8n to scrape your leads' emails. You're going to scrape their entire website, their personal LinkedIn profile, and their company LinkedIn profile. So we're going to take all this data that we've scraped and we're going to use it for personalized outreach. We're going to be able to do this at scale because this is an automation, and it's going to be so good that it sounds like a human. And this is because we have all this personal detail about them. In the market we're in today, if your outreach is not personalized, then they're not going to respond. There's just too many cold emails hitting their inboxes. So first I'm going to start off with a recap to show you how you can scrape Apollo and get someone's email, their website URL, their profile LinkedIn URL, and their organization LinkedIn URL. Once we have that, then we're going to use n8n to scrape their website. I'm then going to show you what platform you can use to scrape someone's LinkedIn profile and company profile, but do it in a completely safe way where it's impossible to get banned. And then finally, we're going to bring that all together and we're going to send a personalized AI email icebreaker. And this is going to be so good that it sounds like it's human. So that's the plan. Let's jump into it. The first thing we want to do is we want to make sure you have your list of leads. So if we go into here, you want to start off with a lead list that looks something like this. So you want your email, you want your leads' LinkedIn URL, you want their website, and you want their organization URL. So if you think, how can I get this list? This seems like a very manual process. Is not at all. And in my last video, which is going to be in the description, I showed you exactly how to scrape all this information from Apollo. And not only do you get the lead list, you're then able to clean that data. So for example, when you send outreach, instead of it saying account director / senior team leader, you clean this title to make it say account director. Or sort of agency Inc., you clean it and it says agency. So you get all of this. And the way you do that is use this workflow to clean the data. And there's a specific process in which you scrape Apollo. So if you want to get this workflow, you want to learn how to do that, check out the previous video. And you can go to school community here. And this is a free school community. And go to Apollo lead data cleaning workflow and click download workflow. All you want to do is click the top 3 buttons here and say import from file, and you should be able to get this. So now, assuming you've done that, you've watched a past video, you've got your list of leads. Now you want to enrich your leads. This is when we get into the Zuck spy workflow. So the way we test this out, I'm going to show you one example, and we're going to take this guy here called Paul. So this is what you would have in your Google Sheets. And what we want to do is we want to get more information on Paul. We want to know, what does his website say about him? What's the information on his LinkedIn, his personal LinkedIn and his company LinkedIn? And we want to use that with AI to send a very personalized outreach email. And we want to do this at scale to thousands of emails. We'll use this as an example. So this is the workflow. We'll jump into it. First thing you want to do is upload your Google Sheets CSV. That's what this node is here. Connect your Google account, and then you make sure you select the right Google Sheets, and then you get the information here. Once you do that, this first step is going to be to scrape the company's website. So what we do is first we do a HTTP request. What we can do is we find the website here and we drag it into the URL, and then it will basically just scrape the website and it will get all the HTML code. So the HTML code is all the information on the website plus extra bits of code that tells you how to position different bits of information. So lots of unnecessary stuff that we don't need as well. So we have the code. We want to use this markdown node to get rid of some of that extra code we don't need. That's what we're doing here. We take the HTML from the input, and then we'll use this markdown node and we'll get an output that's much shorter and gets rid of a lot of the code we don't need. That's what's happening here. Once we've done that, we then use this OpenAI message node. And we basically want to tell OpenAI that it's a web scraper. So this is the expression and prompt I used. So I'm just saying you're an expert web scraper. I want you to take out all the unnecessary information that we're not using and then bring me back one big block of text with all the information from the landing page. And that's what it basically does. So now this is really useful because we had this big block of text of the landing page, and oftentimes if you were to do this process manually and you wanted to reach out to someone, you would go to the website yourself and then you would scan through it and try to find a specific piece of information to show that this is not some generic automated email. And now you've been able to completely automate that process. So that's the website scraping. Next, and the most interesting part, is how do you scrape their LinkedIn, their profile LinkedIn and their company LinkedIn? This is really important because there's lots of ways to do this that are very unsafe and that will get your LinkedIn account banned. So if you use any platform that tells you to download a Chrome extension, that's very likely to get you banned. If you use cookies or you have to have login details, you're most likely going to get banned. So what you want is you want a software or a platform that's able to scrape LinkedIn without it needing any details of your personal details. And the best platform I found for this is one called Piloteer. So I've used this personally in my outreach and it's worked really well. And you can see, don't just take my word for it. If any of you know Lemlist, which is a massive outreach software, they use it. KPMG use it, Airbnb use it. So it's really good. I'm not affiliated with them at all, but I've used it in the past and it's worked quite well for me. And you can get a free account and just test it out with a few credits. So this is what I used to scrape the lead's LinkedIn profile and their company profile. So I'll show you how I did it in n8n. It's really simple. You just use a HTTP node. And you basically use this get node, you put in the URL, you have here what you want to do for the value. You just want to drag in from the input the person's LinkedIn URL, and then you add your API key here. And if any of you say why I'm showing my API key, don't worry, I've used a free account for the purpose of this video, so this isn't linked to a credit card or anything. So once you've done that, you're going to see the crazy data you get. So this is actually honestly a bit scary. So first we can see the region where they're at. You can see their LinkedIn summary. Okay. We can see their different positions. So here you can see the marketeer, scientist. We'll scroll down. We can see where they went to university. This person went to Cardiff University. When they finished university, I can see that they got a first class honors. You can see their GCSEs. This is crazy level of detail. I can see their different experiences. So the field they are working, the title, the description, and you can just go through this, and it's so much data on the person. And this is going to allow you to create hyper-personalized outreach that no one else is going to be able to do at the scale you're doing. So many pieces of data, basically anything on their LinkedIn profile, you now have access to. And this is how this works. Same thing with the LinkedIn company profile. You just dynamically bring in the company URL, you drag it in here, and then it scrapes all the information on the company from its LinkedIn URL. So things like the tagline's really good, or the company description. So this again can, when you're using AI, you can give it context on the company and how it works. And then you have context on the person. One thing I really like is it gives you the staff count. So you could be like, oh, I saw you have a staff count of 20 people. And then you're using very specific details about their company. So again, really helps with hyper-personalized outreach. So yeah, now you have the website scraped, you have their LinkedIn profile, you have their company profile. What you want to do next is basically pick and choose the fields that you like. Here you want to format the data. So this just brings it, actually, before you pick and choose the fields you use, you just want to choose, you want to format the data you need using this node. And I could take a step before that. When you have your LinkedIn profile that you've scraped, you want to choose, because here you have a lot of data. You're not going to need everything. So you want to go through the data and you want to say, what fields am I specifically interested in? So I said, I want to know their summary and their education. But maybe you want to know extra information, like where they went to university or anything else. You pick and choose exactly what data you want from this input that you want to go and use in the AI personalization. So this is where I would want you to use this workflow and really make it your own by picking and choosing the specific data that you want to use. So I do that both for the LinkedIn profile API and the company profile. So once you've chosen that, this is just a bit of data formatting to just get it all into one JSON. And then this is where you have the interesting bit. So you have all this data you've now selected. You use this OpenAI message node to create a personalized email outreach. So you can see, for me, I have all the information on their website. I have their summary, I have their education, I have the tagline, I have the company description, the staff count, and everything else here. So this is what I'm using to create my personalized outreach. So if I open up the prompt I'm using, this is just an example prompt where I'm asking for a one-line personalized email. I'm saying, make this something that the reader can't help but open. And it is clearly personalized and makes them curious. I ask it to make it punchy and urgent. And then I list out all the data I have. So this is where you want to have a bit of trial and error. You want to play with different email templates. You want to play with different types of information you feed it. And then you just want to experiment until you find something that works really well. And then that becomes your template for your personalized outreach. And this is something that can be done at scale. Like, who has this much information on a lead? And then you can use AI to personalize it and then send it out to thousands. So this is the power of this workflow. And then once you've created the personalized email, you're basically just bringing all the data back together here, and then you upload it to Google Sheets. So if we go back here, you're going to want to go to your Google Sheets. And then the reason you upload it is that if you're using a tool like Instantly, you're going to want it in a CSV so you can upload it. So here, for example, you have the icebreaker created, you have all the extra information you scraped that you want to include. Maybe you want to add this to a CRM, so you have extra information on your lead. Maybe you want to use it for another AI prompt to do something else with it. So lots of options for how you want to use it. And of course, if you're in n8n, you can, instead of uploading this to Google Sheets, you can upload it straight to Instantly, maybe to HubSpot, Salesforce, Airtable. Really, you can do whatever you want with it because you now have the data. So that's the workflow. That's how you can send hyper-personalized outreach at scale by scraping their website, their LinkedIn profile, and their company profile. I hope I found this useful, and if you're interested in more business, AI agent, AI automation related content, think about giving this channel a subscribe. Catch you next time.